Hello, and welcome to the special 2024 Year in Review edition of Florida by the Numbers. I'm Sheridan Morby, the Senior Research Economist for the Florida Chamber Foundation. As we near the end of 2024, we want to take this opportunity to recap what happened in Florida's economy this year, knowing that this data is valuable as we anticipate the trends that will impact the business community in 2025. The Florida Chamber Foundation's guiding light in our analysis of the economy is the Florida 2030 Blueprint. Our overarching goal is to grow Florida to be a top 10 global economy by 2030. As we look back on the progress in Florida's economy in 2024, we are ultimately looking ahead to 2030. Visit the website on the screen to access the Florida 2030 Blueprint and discover how you can contribute to a brighter future for our state and economy. This year, Florida surpassed Spain to become the 15th largest economy in the world if it were a country. Through quarter two, Florida's private industries grew by 3.2% over that time period. And if growth stays around that pace through the rest of the year, this means Florida's GDP, or gross domestic product, which is how we measure the size of the economy, will see right around the 7% GDP growth that we projected in our 2024 forecast. This progress also outpaced the national growth, which was 2.5%. According to the latest data, April 2023 to April 2024, Florida's population was right around 23 million, but the Florida Chamber Foundation tracks a real-time projection of Florida's population, which shows it as nearly 23.4 million currently. Florida's population increased by 1.7%, and 62 of the 67 counties saw increases in population, with Hendry County leading at 11%. State-to-state migration data for 2023 showed a net gain of 126,000 people, second in the nation. 2024 data has not yet been released. However, these figures can give us a better understanding of the trends in migration and inform the figures we will see for migration next year. While the population growth figure I mentioned includes foreign inflow, which is high in Florida, these migration figures reflect only state-to-state migration. The population moving out was highly concentrated in the 20 to 29 age range, which is the emerging workforce. This trend means that we will be keeping a close eye on Florida's labor market in 2025. The Florida Chamber Foundation recently released a report highlighting key migration trends shaping Florida's future. You can access the report, which dives into these figures and more, by visiting the website on the screen. So what are the trends in Florida's labor market? Overall, Florida's labor market remains steady this year, and in 2024, a steady labor market was a strong labor market. The unemployment rate held steady at 3.3% since April. Employment and open jobs are becoming more balanced, though a workforce shortage persists, especially since the data does not capture jobs that are not posted online. This means there are abundant job opportunities in Florida, and a declining labor force participation rate is a pressure point in Florida's labor market this year. Excluding the COVID-19 era, the current labor force participation rate in Florida for those 16 years and older, 58.3%, is the lowest since 1983. This means that of the population aged 16 or older, less than 60% are either employed or actively looking for work. The migration trends have led to this dip in the labor force participation rate, revealing an area where Florida has the opportunity to improve and kickstart further growth in employment. Speaking of growth in employment, Florida has seen growth of 0.8% in total non-agricultural employment through October 2024. As a reminder, October figures capture a disruption in the labor market due to Hurricanes Helene and Milton, which we expect employment to recover from, meaning that September data gives us a better picture of the trends in the labor market this year. Through September 2024, Florida's employment grew by 1.2%, outpacing the national growth of 1.09%. Florida saw stronger job growth than the nation this year, another area in which our state has remained steady amid a more fluctuating national economy. The Florida Chamber Foundation Future of Work Florida initiative is building the nation's top workforce by 2030. By aligning education, training, and career pathways with the demands of new and emerging industries, Future of Work Florida is ensuring that our state's workforce remains competitive, adaptable, and future-ready. The Future of Work Florida initiative also seeks to increase awareness and preparedness for high-demand careers. These high-demand careers are compiled as the top 30 high-demand careers, broken down for every workforce region in addition to the state level. These careers are evidence that Florida has a high demand for talent. There are not only job opportunities, but well-paying career opportunities. Visit the website on the screen to see these careers by state and workforce regions. As the Florida Chamber Foundation forecasted, Florida's housing market steadied out in 2024. Due to seasonality, we can get the best picture of the trends in the housing market by comparing 2024's most recent data, which is for October, to the figures a year prior. Two of the biggest trends in Florida's single-family home market were the median sales price and the number of active listings. The number of active listings in Florida's housing market increased by 31% over the year, restocking the homes which made way for more steady prices. The median sale price is currently $415,000, which is only an increase of a little over 1% over the year. This small rise in prices can be compared to an increase of 2% the year prior and a significant jump of 12% from 2021 to 2022. Although prices are not expected to go down, this year's small increase is a good sign for the housing market. Even with the positive news of stability in the market, the Florida Chamber Foundation knows there is more work to be done. The Florida 2030 Blueprint emphasizes the importance of affordable housing to support Florida's economy, with the goal of reducing the percentage of cost-burdened households to less than 10%. Currently, 54.9% of Floridians spend 30% or more of their income on housing, a metric tracked on the floridascorecard.org to inform state and local leaders. The Florida Housing Coalition, as the Blueprint goal leader, works with communities, local governments, and nonprofits to advance affordable housing solutions through data-driven resources. Other recent progress in this area includes legislation like the Live Local Act, which takes an all-of-the-above approach to improve Florida's housing stock by incentivizing the free market, providing additional financing for our state's existing housing programs, and removing regulatory roadblocks. Additionally, property insurance legislation implemented a number of reforms that improve protections for Floridians against frivolous lawsuits and support positive changes to property insurance and tort reform throughout the state. To date, there's evidence that these reforms are working. There have been 9 new insurers that have entered Florida's homeowners insurance market, and 3.4 million homeowners will either see a rate decrease or a 0% increase at their next renewal. We also stay up to date with the inflation rate at the national and regional levels. Inflation cooled significantly from its 2022 peak of 9.1%, prompting federal interest rate cuts that will ease borrowing costs in the months ahead. While these cuts don't have a direct, immediate impact on consumers, they do typically have a delayed impact by lowering borrowing costs for consumers and businesses. And now for a look at how our 2024 economic forecast performed over the year. Overall, Florida's economy was in line with our economic forecast. GDP growth should hit the 7% mark, and the expected interest rate cuts came to fruition. The median prices in the housing market are in our projected range, due in part to active listings seeing a large jump, as we expected. Looking ahead to next year, we will be releasing our 2025 economic forecast at the Florida Economic Outlook and Job Solution Summit, held virtually on January 30th. Watching this summit is the best way to stay informed about what's going on in Florida's economy and the national landscape, as we hear from Wells Fargo economist Jackie Benson and many other experts covering topics like affordable housing, workforce trends, and the impact of AI in our economy. You can visit the website on the screen to register and learn more about the latest in Florida's economy. To stay up to date as soon as Florida's latest metrics are released, we have a couple of resources for you to stay informed between now and next month's By the Numbers. Follow at FloridaBTN, which stands for By the Numbers, on X, where these and other updated figures are posted regularly. Also, be sure to check the floridascorecard.org on a regular basis. These expected metrics will be added as soon as they become available at both the state and county levels to help Florida leaders lead with data-driven insights. The Florida Scorecard and our team's accompanying research and analyses on these metrics are made possible by the Florida Chamber Foundation's community development partners, companies with a statewide footprint committed to fueling the research and solutions for Florida's long-term economic success. Thank you for joining us. For questions, please feel free to reach out via the contact information on the screen. From everyone at the Florida Chamber, we hope you have a happy holiday season, and we will see you in January at our 2025 Florida Economic Outlook and Job Solution Summit.